Growing older is an experience filled with both wisdom and unexpected challenges. After retirement, life takes on a whole new rhythm, but not every change is easy or comfortable. Some truths about aging are nearly universal, yet few people talk about them openly. Have you ever wondered what really awaits as the years advance? Are you prepared for the unspoken realities that come knocking after 65? The truth is, no one truly escapes certain facts that old age delivers, regardless of background or optimism. Stay until the end. What you'll learn might change your life. If these insights resonate, don't forget to subscribe, hit like, and share your thoughts below. Your voice matters here. The unavoidable slowdown. For many people, the most jarring reality after 65 is the noticeable shift in physical energy and stamina. Remember the days when you could rise before the sun, tend to a garden, chase after grandkids, or perhaps manage a bustling work schedule without needing a second thought or a midday nap? Those times feel close yet elusive, like looking through a window at someone else's world. The transition often occurs so subtly that there's no clear day when things changed, only a gradual realization that your pace isn't what it used to be. You wake up feeling stiff instead of rested. A walk to the grocery store feels longer than before, and simple chores become small challenges. Maybe your hands don't move as quickly, or your knees protest when you climb stairs. Even your favorite activities, baking, woodworking, walks in the park, demand more planning and newly found patience. For some, this is emotionally difficult to accept. Independence feels threatened when you start relying on help, whether it's from family, neighbors, or community services. There's a real sense of loss in acknowledging you may no longer be able to do everything without assistance. Jane, who always prided herself on caring for her own yard, found herself quietly hiring a gardener after her back started aching persistently. She never thought she'd have to ask, yet her plants needed care, and she had to choose between pride and pain. To make matters more challenging, reactions from others might further highlight these limitations. Friends and family, with the best intentions, offer help for tasks you once handled easily. Simple routines, driving to appointments, cooking dinner, or handling household repairs, can suddenly draw attention and concern, sometimes to the point of embarrassment. Some folks feel frustrated by what gets called slowing down, resenting a world that now seems to move so quickly and demand so much energy. Yet, this process doesn't have to mean giving up the things you love. Many adapt by focusing on what's still possible, choosing different strategies to manage energy throughout the day. Maybe it means spreading out activities over the week instead of tackling everything in a single morning, or enjoying peaceful walks instead of ambitious hikes. If golf used to be a Saturday tradition, perhaps now it's a relaxing afternoon with old friends rather than a competitive round. Integrating gentle exercise, adjusting sleep schedules, or finding new hobbies that fit your pace can bring unexpected joys. There are inspiring stories everywhere. Neighbors determined to continue morning strolls, or grandparents cheering at soccer games from the comfort of a lawn chair, showing that life remains full even if the tempo is different. As the world changes pace, so must expectations of what daily life looks like. Accepting these changes with grace can unlock new ways of connecting, learning, and even having fun. The options may be different, but they're by no means diminished in value. Adapting isn't giving up. It's finding a sustainable rhythm and granting yourself the kindness you once offered to others. Do you recognize moments where your energy has changed? And how have you adapted or struggled to find a new balance that honors both your needs and your spirit? The shrinking social circle. One of the most profound transitions for people after 65 is witnessing the gradual contraction of their social world. it often catches you by surprise. You may remember the times when your phone would ring off the hook for birthdays, holidays, or simply to catch up. Your calendar would be dotted with lunches, family gatherings, or even impromptu visits from neighbors. These connections fueled your sense of belonging and provided laughter, comfort, and the sharing of life's milestones. Yet something changes as the years pass. Longtime friends may relocate to be nearer to their children or move into assisted living. Some loved ones unfortunately pass on, leaving empty seats at the table and holes in your heart. Family members get busier, lives scatter across cities or even countries, and daily contact becomes less frequent than before. The Sunday family dinners dwindle. The coffee club at the local diner becomes less crowded. Even the familiar faces you counted on at community events may begin to disappear, replaced by strangers or simply not replaced at all. This erosion of companionship is more than just a loss of company. It can rattle your confidence and sense of purpose. There's a unique ache in realizing that the people who knew your stories and sometimes finished your sentences are no longer a consistent part of your everyday routine. For many, the days may start to blur together, especially if spouses or closest friends are no longer present to share the details. Take Harold, who spent decades enjoying card nights with the same four buddies. Now, only one friend remains in the same city, and weekends feel oddly quiet. He keeps a deck of cards on the coffee table, a silent tribute to the laughter that once filled his living room. Maintaining social contact requires deliberate effort, far more than when relationships seem to sustain themselves effortlessly. Some respond by reaching out, joining new groups, volunteering, or picking up the phone to call distant relatives. Others feel lost in the silent spaces that routine used to fill. There's no denying that loneliness can creep in, sometimes so subtly that you don't even notice at first, until it's suddenly overwhelming. Yet there's hope and resilience in these moments, too. Many discover fresh ways to forge meaningful bonds. Book clubs, choirs, and walking groups become lifelines. Neighbors who were once just acquaintances now become dear friends, connected by the shared understanding of this new chapter. Technology, challenging as it may seem at first, can open windows to family and friends across thousands of miles, allowing you to see grandchildren's smiles or reconnect with high school pals. Activities that were once unthinkable, taking a painting class online, linking up with others in a digital discussion group, participating in local senior centers, step in to fill the social void. This ability to reach out, adapt, or even reinvent your social circle is a hidden strength, and those who embrace it often find unexpected rewards. Still, the ache of absence never fully vanishes, and the courage to create new relationships remains a remarkable act of hope. When you look at your life today, who are the connections you miss most? And how have you found ways to rebuild your circle or fill these lonely spaces with people and meaning? Facing financial fears. When you reach the age of 65 and beyond, the terrain of money and security can feel both unfamiliar and unsettling. For decades, you likely worked hard, did your best to save, and perhaps even dreamed of a relaxed retirement. One where expenses would settle down and your savings would cushion any bumps in the road. Yet, as the years unfold, it becomes evident that financial concerns do not simply melt away with age. Instead, new worries can appear almost out of nowhere. Unexpected medical bills arrive, home maintenance costs surge, and groceries never seem to get cheaper. The nest egg that once seemed substantial may start to shrink as it faces the combined forces of increased cost of living, inflation, and sudden emergencies. Many older adults have stories of reworking budgets to stretch every dollar just a bit further or taking on part-time jobs to make ends meet. Think of Walter, who retired believing his pension would cover most essentials. A leaky roof and a series of health appointments showed him quickly how tightly he'd need to watch every expense. He found himself sitting at the kitchen table with stacks of bills and receipts, recalculating, reprioritizing, and sometimes choosing between upgrading prescriptions or buying a beloved grandchild's birthday gift. The conversations around money often become tinged with anxiety, tallying up expenses and worrying about what the next surprise might be can make it difficult to fully embrace the freedoms you had expected at this stage of life. The sense of control you once felt can weaken, especially for those who have always prided themselves on financial independence. Even the practical act of downsizing, a choice or a necessity for many, can bring emotional hurdles. Letting go of a cherished home, parting with treasured possessions, and adjusting to a smaller space aren't just logistical changes. They touch your identity and history. And while family may offer support or advice, the pressure to not be a burden lingers heavily. Yet, it is crucial to remember that this struggle is not a sign of failure, but an experience shared by millions walking a parallel path. Many find new solutions, learning the ins and outs of government benefits, sharing resources with others, embracing community programs, or discovering fresh ways to earn extra cash that align with their skills and passions. It turns out you're never too old to adapt, to seek out deals, or even to learn about financial planning for the very first time. There can also be tremendous satisfaction in mastering these adjustments and a renewed appreciation for the value of a dollar, where small victories, like growing your own tomatoes or making new friends at the local thrift store, carry meaning beyond mere savings. How have your views about financial security changed as you've grown older, and what steps have you taken, big or small, to keep your footing on this unpredictable financial path? Wrestling with unpredictable health changes. One of the undeniable truths that set in after the age of 65 is the realization that your body can throw surprises your way with little warning. Even those who spend a lifetime eating right and staying active may find themselves navigating new or worsening health conditions. Maybe you always prided yourself on being the early riser who walked miles every morning, but now swollen joints force you to reconsider your routines. Doctor's visits become a regular part of your monthly schedule. Test results carry more weight than they once did, and you might keep a growing collection of pill bottles in sight to help keep track of medications. For many, life can feel like it revolves around appointments with specialists, learning medical terminology, and managing symptoms rather than focusing on favorite pastimes. Marjorie, for instance, noticed her vision blurring as her grandchild eagerly waved a drawing in front of her. It was the first moment she admitted out loud that things were changing. Illnesses, chronic pain, and limitations often intrude where freedom once resided, and adapting can take every ounce of patience and determination you have. Yet these challenges also spark remarkable resilience. You might find yourself becoming an expert advocate for your care, learning how to ask the right questions, or even encouraging a friend who's going through something similar. Many discover unexpected strength in adjusting goals, whether that means switching to a gentle yoga class instead of tennis, or taking breaks in the garden rather than tending it for hours on end. Health's unpredictability can be tough to accept, but can also teach you to savor the good days and lean into the support offered by loved ones and healthcare professionals alike. What's the most surprising lesson your body has taught you recently? And how have you learned to adapt to these new realities? Redefining purpose in a slower world. After 65, a subtle but profound shift often settles in. The need to search for purpose and meaning in a life that has slowed down. The whirlwind of raising children, building a career, or managing a busy home gives way to quieter days. And there's a certain stillness that can feel unfamiliar or even unsettling. The agenda that once overflowed with appointments, responsibilities, and social gatherings now has blank spaces. At first, this newfound freedom may bring a sense of relief, but it can quickly be replaced by an aching question. What do I do now, and what makes my days valuable? So many find themselves wrestling with these thoughts, waking each morning to rooms that echo with the memories of people and routines that are no longer part of daily existence. This was the case for Linda, a retired school principal who thrived on structure. She had spent decades guiding students and teachers, making decisions that felt impactful. When retirement arrived, she anticipated time for hobbies, but soon realized that without a community depending on her daily, there was a void that bird watching and crossword puzzles couldn't fill. The world around her seemed to move forward without her, and she felt adrift despite loving family nearby. Facing this kind of emptiness isn't always dramatic or visible. Sometimes it's a quiet ache that seeps in when you least expect it, perhaps sparked by watching children play outside or hearing laughter from a neighbor's gathering. For some, meaning is tied to accomplishments or social roles. So when those naturally fade, it's only human to question your relevance. But here's where the story can evolve. Countless older adults find themselves engaging with new sources of meaning that are deeply personal. Take Thomas, who after decades as an accountant, began volunteering as a reading tutor at his local library. The classroom looked different, but the sense of making a difference was just as powerful. Or Carol and Dan, a couple who spent retirement fostering rescue dogs, transforming their home into a haven for animals in need, and finding a new sense of purpose together. These stories show that meaning after 65 isn't necessarily about recapturing the past. It's about embracing small acts of connection and doing things not because they fill the calendar, but because they genuinely matter to you. Sometimes, new purpose is as simple as nurturing a garden, mentoring a neighbor's child, or finally penning the family memoir. Other times, it's quietly supporting old friends, showing up for those who remain, and passing on wisdom in ways only you can. The truth is, the search for meaning never stops, no matter your age. It can take time, a little courage, and a willingness to experiment with unfamiliar roles. There's no one-size-fits-all formula, and there may be days when the stillness feels heavy. Yet, each new chapter offers fresh chances for fulfillment, even if they look nothing like the plans you once imagined. In the end, redefining what brings you joy and worth is not just necessary. It can be unexpectedly rewarding, often opening the door to moments and relationships that feel richer because of your life experience. As you reflect on how your own sense of purpose has shifted, ask yourself, what hidden passions or new adventures could still be waiting to breathe meaning into your days? As we come to the end of this journey, exploring the realities that touch everyone after 65, it's important to remember that recognizing these truths is not an admission of defeat, but a step toward embracing a more meaningful life. From the shifting tides of energy and changing relationships to facing financial adjustments, unpredictable health, and the evolving sense of purpose, each challenge carries the seeds of resilience and growth. Every day may look different from the last, and some mornings will feel heavier than others. But it's within these moments of honesty that real strength is forged. You are not alone on this path. Millions share these experiences, the struggles, the adaptations, the victories, both great and quiet, even if their stories remain tucked away behind closed doors. Your journey, with its unique highs and lows, matters deeply, and there's immeasurable wisdom in navigating these transitions with openness and grace. Whether you're finding new rhythms at a slower pace, tending to connections in creative ways, learning the language of health, or discovering what makes your heart beat with meaning now. Know that each step forward is a testament to your enduring spirit. Life after 65 is not an ending, but a transformation, a chance to shape chapters full of authenticity, compassion, and unexpected joy. If you ever feel lost in the stillness, remember that tomorrow holds a new opportunity to connect, to create, or simply to appreciate the beauty of your own story. Thank you for sharing this time together. Your experiences, memories, and thoughts are important here. If this message resonated with you, comment the word wisdom below to let others know they're not alone. Don't forget to subscribe for more heartfelt stories and helpful insights on this journey. Stay hopeful, keep reaching out, and remember, your story is far from over.